Hi students, today our topic is classification of products. In the last video, I discussed about classification of brands. Now this time we will be discussing about classification of products. First of all, let me explain to you what is the meaning of product in marketing. Now, which are the different things that come under the product. Product in marketing means anything that you offer to the market if it satisfies need, want, demand, taste or preference of a customer, we called it is a product. The condition here I said that if it satisfies one of these which I said, like need or want or taste or preference of a customer, then we will call that thing is a product. Now sometimes we get confused. We say what is good, what is product, what are services and other things. As I said, whatever you offer to the market, if it satisfies either need, want, demand, taste or preference of a customer, it is a product. Now goods as per this definition are then the products, services or products, ideas or products, information or products, events or products, you have places or products, properties or products, places or products, and experiences will also come under the product. Now let us classify products. We as whenever we classify anything, we have some base, and on that base we classify things. Since we are classifying products, first base for classifying the product is we are classifying the products on the basis of durability and tangibility. On the basis of durability and tangibility, we find that there are three types of products. One is non-durable goods. As I said, goods are also products. Now we use the word goods. Goods, non-durable goods, durable goods, and services. Services are intangible products, so we say that services. As per durability and tangibility, we have three types of products: non-durable goods, durable goods, and services. Now, what are non-durable goods? Non-durable goods are all those goods which survive one or few uses only. The goods which survive one or few uses only are called as non-durable goods. The examples of soft drinks. How many uses the soft drink will survive? You will consume it even at a single glance, or you will consume it in two times or maximum three or four times. It depends upon the size of the cold drink you are purchasing. Likewise, biscuits. Biscuits are also being consumed in one or few uses. Then durable goods. Durable goods are those goods which survive multiple uses. The goods which survive multiple uses are called as durable goods. The examples are the furniture you will purchase, the machinery you will purchase, the refrigerator for home or any home appliances that you purchase for the household. These are all examples of durable products because they survive multiple uses. You purchase furniture or you purchase refrigerator or any other home appliances, you do not purchase it that you will use it for single one time or two times or three times, then you will throw it out. No, you purchase those goods for a longer duration of time. That's why we say durable goods. Then the third, but the both you should keep one thing in your mind: both non-durable as well as durable goods or tangible goods. Now, third one, services. Services are non-tangible, inseparable these products. Now let me explain service. Let me give the concept of service. Service actually means it involves two parties. Always the service involves two parties. Service, as per the American Marketing Association, they define and explain service like an activity or benefit offered by one party to another party, but this activity or benefit is essentially intangible and does not result in the ownership of anything. So, as per this definition, let us give an example, quote an example. I am a teacher, and on the other side, there are students. Now, how I will explain service? I said service is an activity or benefit that is being offered by one party to another party. Now, suppose I am a teacher, I am one party in the service. The second party are the students. Now, activity or benefit. What is an activity or benefit? The activity or benefit is that I have gained some knowledge regarding the subject of marketing. Now, it is an activity or benefit from my side to the students. And this activity or benefit from my side to the students is essentially intangible and it will not result in the ownership of anything. Like the students will avail whatever knowledge I have, I will pass on to them regarding a particular topic or a particular subject. That is, the knowledge within me as a teacher is a benefit for the students. Now, the other part is the student cannot claim the ownership. Like, student not will say that you have to come to my home and teach all of us at home. You have to come to my neighbors. You have to come to my relatives and teach everyone. No. Why? Because they cannot claim the ownership. They can only avail my services but cannot claim the ownership of my services. So that's how I will explain this service. Another example is a bank is one party and the customer is another party. What is an activity or benefit offered by a bank to the customers? Now there are two things. A bank has come in memorandum of understanding with all the nationalized banks that if my customer will approach your ATM, he or she should be able to withdraw the money out of the ATM. Now this is an activity or this is a benefit kept by the bank for all its customers. So the other part of the definition I will explain. This activity or benefit offered by one party to another party is essentially intangible and it will not result in the ownership of anything. You will withdraw cash out of the ATM. You cannot claim for the ownership of the ATM that I am an account holder of a particular bank. Now I can take the ATM with me. You cannot do that. What you will do, you will only avail the services. You will only avail the benefit that is being kept by Jammu and Kashmir bank or whatsoever bank you have account with for you. That's how we explain services. Again, I will tell you, service is an activity or benefit. It is being offered by one party to another. This activity or benefit is essentially intangible and it does not result in the ownership of anything. So these are three different types of the product. When we classify the product and make the base for classification, durability and tangibility. In the first case, non-durable goods, we saw that non-durable goods are those goods which survive only one or few uses. Durable goods are those goods which survive multiple uses. Services, what are the services? Services are intangible, inseparable. And I define it, what are the services? Services an activity or benefit offered by one party to another that is essentially intangible and does not result in the ownership of anything. Like you have a haircut. What is a haircut? Haircut is a service provided by a salon. What is if you want to go from one destination to another destination? Now, what is the product? Where does the product come here? The product is that if we take an example of an aircraft, the owner of the aircraft has kept its aircraft in your vicinity, that means in your state, so that you will avail the benefit of taking your journey from that very this what should I say, that place to the some other destination. Now this is on the basis of durability and tangibility. Now let us come to the another section, that is consumer goods classification. Now before I will explain consumer goods classification, I will say there are two types of goods, that there are consumer goods and second one are industrial goods. Consumer goods are those goods which a customer purchases for the personal consumption, while as the industrial goods are those goods which a customer purchases for its business purposes. Okay, now consumer goods, those goods which a customer purchases for personal consumptions. Industrial goods are those goods which a customer purchases for its business purposes. Now we will explain consumer goods classification. Now how we will classify consumer goods? We will classify consumer goods. Here we made the base for classifying products at durability and tangibility. Here we are making the base for classifying the goods on the basis of shopping habits. On the basis of shopping habits, there are four major types of goods: convenience goods, shopping goods, specialty goods, and we have unsought goods. Now we will explain this in detail. Convenience goods. What are to which goods are called as convenience goods? Goods which a customer purchases frequently, which a customer purchases immediately after he consumes the product, or which a customer does not put efforts to purchase the product. That means the customer is purchasing the products with minimum efforts. Okay, now those 3 points you have to take into consideration when you are talking about convenience goods. Those goods which a customer is purchasing frequently, immediately, and without any effort are called as convenience goods. The examples of the convenience goods are: you have newspaper, you have soft drinks, you have biscuits. These are which products? These are the products which a customer purchases frequently, immediately, and without any effort. Now convenience goods it's three types: staples, impulse, and emergency goods. Now what are the staples? Staple goods are those goods which a customer purchases regularly and on the routine basis. Examples of the staples are: you have like toothpaste, you have biscuits, you have washroom soaps, etc. and etc. These goods are called as staples. Well, now what are the staples? Staples, the type of convenience good, and the staple goods means those goods which a customer purchases regularly and routinely. Examples I gave you: examples of, you have toothpaste, you have biscuits, you have bathroom, these soaps, etc. etc. Now second type of convenience goods is impulsive goods. Impulsive goods are those goods which a customer purchases with our prior planning, with our proper planning, and the customer purchases it, and it does not need any search. Okay, that's called as impulse goods. The example of impulse goods are: you have chocolates, you purchase chocolates without planning. You will go anywhere, you feel that I need to eat something, you will purchase chocolates. So chocolates will come under impulse goods. Likewise, you want to purchase potato chips. These products are also called as impulse products or impulse goods. The third type is emergency goods. Emergency goods are those goods which a customer purchases when he needs, that there is an urgency of purchasing those goods. Those goods are called as emergency goods. Now the examples of, with the advent of winter, the customer starts purchasing these sweaters, shawls, etc. Now with the advent of monsoons, a customer starts purchasing which goods? He starts purchasing emergency goods. The examples with the advent of the monsoon are, you purchase a raincoat. You know that there will be monsoon, there will be raining, so I need a raincoat. The raincoat is an emergency good. You know that there is a lot of heat out there. I need to purchase an umbrella. There is raining. I need to purchase an umbrella. The umbrella is which good? It is an emergency good. Now, up till now, we discussed consumer goods. We are discussing consumer goods classification. Out of the four major types of consumer goods, we discussed convenience goods. We discussed what is convenience, what are convenience goods, and there are three types: staples, impulse, and emergency goods. Now we will come up to the next type of consumer goods, that is shopping goods. Now what are the shopping goods? Shopping goods are those goods which a customer purchases by comparing the characteristics of that product which he wants to purchase with all its competitive products. Or like he compares suitability, the price, quality, style, etc. These are the different characteristics which a customer compares with all other options from the all other competitors available to the customer. That's why such type of goods are called as shopping goods. The examples of shopping goods are, if you have to purchase furniture, you will not go and purchase the furniture. You will compare the style of the furniture, the color of the furniture, the design of the furniture, the quality of the furniture, the price of the furniture with all other competitors. Then only you will purchase furniture. So that is, furniture is which good? It is a shopping good. Another example is, what if you have to go for purchase of clothing? You have to purchase any clothing. What will you do? You will compare the clothing which you want to purchase with all the competitors, with all the products offered by the competitors in the category in which you want to purchase the product. You will compare the characteristics and then only you will purchase the products. When a customer is comparing the characteristics of the product with all the products offered in this competition, those goods are called as shopping goods. Now shopping goods are of two types: homogeneous shopping goods and heterogeneous shopping goods. Homogeneous shopping goods are those shopping goods where a customer finds that their characteristics are same. That means the characteristics of the different products offered by the different competitors in the same product category in which a customer wants to purchase the product are same, but the prices are different. That's why homogeneous shopping goods. Heterogeneous shopping goods are those shopping goods where a customer finds, when he is comparing the characteristics of the product of the different competitors, where he finds that the quality or the characteristics are different, prices are also different. That time we call those shopping goods and heterogeneous shopping goods. Now let's discuss the third type. The third type of consumer goods is specialty goods. Now, which goods are being called as the specialty goods? How do you say that this is a specialty good or that is a specialty good? We need to know that when a good has unique characteristics, or when a product has unique brand identification. Now you have to take into consideration two things: either it has a unique characteristic or it has a unique brand identification. All those goods which have these two things, unique characteristics or unique brand identification, those goods are called as specialty goods. And in case of specialty goods, unlike these shopping goods, customers do not make any comparisons on the basis of characteristics, because they know that this is the specialty good and they know the characteristics of that specialty good. Like, if you had to purchase a car, if you have to purchase a stereotype sound, etc., these whatever we call it. Then if you have to purchase photographic equipments, and these all products are specialty goods. Why? In case of photographic equipments, you know which company is manufacturing which photographic equipments, and you know the quality, you know the standard of the product. You don't need to compare. You will go and purchase that, and you make in specialty goods major chunk of the